Hello everyone, I'm Cloud and welcome to Anime No Mi. Today, continuing with the One Piece videos here on the channel, we will talk about the powers of Zoro, the Straw Hat Pirate Commander, but the powers in the future of the series. After all, Zoro is one of the characters that has evolved the most so far, but he will still evolve a lot in the future of the series, and we'll talk about it today. So I already count on your support to leave your like in the video to help the channel, and I also count on you to subscribe if you're still new here. Now let's go to the video. Guys, as we know, Zoro is one of the strongest characters in One Piece these days. In fact, all Straw Hat Pirates have an extremely high power level when comparing their powers to most pirates they faced at the beginning of their journey. But Zoro, as soon as he was introduced to us, was powerful even as a novice pirate, beating several pirates who were already recognized and performing feats of superhuman powers, and he continues to evolve so far. Since his time with Kuina, even before Zoro started wishing to be the most powerful swordsman in the world, his training had already gone beyond physical limits, where he would lift gigantic stones to increase his own strength. All this because Zoro had a desire to be incomparably strong from the beginning of his journey when he challenged dojos and swordsmen. This shows that even among the Straw Hat Pirates, Zoro is the only one who always wanted to be the strongest. Now this is your biggest goal. Yet the more powerful Zoro became, he also found that the enemies he would encounter on his journey managed to be even stronger than he was. The swordsman then realized that he needed to overcome himself daily to face the forces of the Grand Line. He was even the only one we always saw training inside Mary and after that, Sunny. But it was in his introduction to the concepts of powers in the new world that Zoro realized that he would need to greatly increase his own strength, not for himself, but to have powers to protect his fellows. So then he begged his greatest rival to train him. He asked the current greatest swordsman in the world, Dracula Mihawk, who, recognizing Zoro's motivations, accepted his request. And after that, Zoro returned much stronger after time skip, and sometime after that, he got even more power with his own methods to use the techniques he already possessed. Zoro also came up with a mysterious scar, which seems to be directly linked to your destiny. Today, Zoro was the only major user of the Enma sword after Odin lost his life, and this then shows the level of power he currently has in the Battle of Wano. But it's still not enough. He needs a lot more power, not just to fulfill his dream of being the greatest swordsman, but to protect those who matter to him in the battles of the new world. So the first option that many question about, a quick way to get stronger, is the power of a devil fruit. After all, practically all the big names among pirates currently have a power like this. Of the 4 Yonkas, 3 of them have confirmed a fruit of the devil as its main power. And Oda himself some time ago commented on what devil fruit power he would give to Zoro, and the answer is none. Oda said that if he gave a fruit to Zoro, he would actually give that fruit to one of his swords and not to the swordsman himself. We know that currently in One Piece, thanks to the knowledge that was discovered with all the studies and researches of Dr. Vegapunk, it became possible to give a Zoan-type devil fruit to an inanimate object. This would make the object come alive and also could use a different power. So author Oda, while answering the questions in volume 98, he said that if Zoro had to use the power of a devil fruit, it would be the Uo no Mi in the Tsuraiu model, meaning the power of the Great Blue Dragon. However, as I mentioned, used by your sword. It would be really interesting to see Zoro with a sword capable of releasing fire with burrow breath and also transforming into a large dragon to hit distant enemies, but it's not something we'll see in the story as one of Zoro's main powers. Oda ensured that this possibility would not happen by giving the Straw Hat Pirates commander a devil fruit that already belonged to Kaido, the exact same fruit and model, with Kaido being a rival who would not easily lose his life so that someone else could have its power, in this case a sword. So I personally believe that the devil fruit power will not be present in Zoro's future, but there are still other possibilities that have been officially commented on by the author Oda himself. Recently, with the information we had from the manga's volume 100, we saw how Robin's evolution was shown at 40 and 60 years old, and we even saw that at 60 years old she was still continuing her research and archaeological investigations, something she really always liked to do. But what Zoro always liked from a young age was fighting with swords, something that even over the years would not change. So let's see what Oda said about him, which also showed the evolution of the commander and swordsman of the Straw Hat Pirates. Come on, this happened in volume 91 of the manga, as well as all the characters. Oda showed 2 versions with 40 and 60 years, the one where everything worked out and Zoro continues to do what he likes, and one where everything changed. However, the case of Zoro may hide a tragic secret for the Straw Hat Pirates, a hidden revelation about Zoro, which I can comment on in another video here on the channel, if you want, analyzing these evolutions of 40 and 60 and mainly explaining the Oda's cryptic phrase about the swordsman. The focus of today's video is the future powers of the swordsman, who over the years remains a great swordsman. 19 years after the current moment of the anime, Zoro is drawn by Oda as a user of a different style of swordsmanship, this time using the Yantoryu, that is, the four-sword style. We saw how at the beginning of the series Zoro himself said that he was not very good using the style of one sword, but after time skip this changed, and we see that after his training Zoro beats several opponents with this technique, completely dominating it. This would imply that Zoro at some point in his future will completely dominate his current style, Santoryu, and start training in the four-sword style to strengthen himself. After that, following the same logic, Oda's next quote is about 60 years of the swordsman of the Straw Hat Pirates, which 20 years after being set as the four-sword style Zoro, would now be the five-sword style Zoro. So Zoro would learn the Gantoria style, following the same logic, after fully mastering his previous style, the four-sword style that has even been featured in the One Piece anime itself. However, these representations of Zoro would be in a very distant future in One Piece, and define absolutely nothing about his evolution in battles close to current events, especially in the confrontations that will be experienced by the swordsman after the battle in Wano, which is even a battle where much more is being revealed about Zoro, or at least possibilities are being raised. After all, Wano swordsmen notice in Zoro similarities with great swordsmen of the past, swordsmen of the Shimotsuki family, like Ryuma that Zoro already faced, and also had a scar like the pirates. Then we also saw in Wano a flashback of Yamato where we were shown a mysterious swordsman, who even though we don't see him in detail, his resemblance to the Straw Hat Pirates commander was visible, but we'll see more about that in a future video when we actually have more information. The most important thing now is to continue commenting on the powers of the swordsman Santoryu. We know that recently we saw Zoro using the power of the Conqueror's Haki in the confrontation against Kaido, the very Yonko, who leads the Pirate of Beasts, who knows a lot about this power, mentioned that Zoro had used it. Even Zoro doesn't understand about it. In the anime, in episode 984, in an unprecedented scene, the evolution of this power would happen a little earlier, where we saw Zoro using the Conqueror's Haki, or something extremely similar to this power. And all of this would bring us confirmation that the swordsman really has the Haki of the Chosen Ones, even though during the most recent Vivre card, apparently Zoro will only be cited with the Haki of the Observation, in addition to the classic Bosashoko Haki. However, Zoro's most visible and most likely evolution as a swordsman also directly involves the King's Haki. After all, it is extremely certain that he needs this Haki to further surpass his limits. After all, we saw that the great swordsmen of the past used the power of this Haki in their attacks to strengthen the strength of their blades. We see this being done in the work by Odin, from whom Zoro now inherited the sword Enma, and mainly it was also made by Edward Newgate, in addition to the pirate who ruled the seas, Godi Roger. Furthermore, we know that Shanks must also use this combat style on his Griphon blade, and now that we see that Zoro really does appear to have been chosen by the Conqueror's Haki, full mastery of this power would definitely strengthen him greatly. After all, techniques involving this Haki become much more powerful, even more if Zoro learns the advanced use that allows him to emit the power of the Conqueror's Haki and attack without even having contact with the opponent. I personally believe that the King of Zoro's Haki is the key to him becoming the most powerful swordsman in the world, surpassing the powers of Devil Fruit and any other swordsman. But comment below what you think will be the ultimate power of Zoro in your opinion. Don't forget to leave your likes in the video to help the channel, and also subscribe if you're still new here. The channel is new and needs your help. Thank you so much for watching our video so far. Your support is very important. See you in the next video. Bye.